Hi, baby dolls, and a wicked, very Merry Christmas Eve to all of yous. I thought it might be fun if I read you one of my all-time favorite Christmas stories, which is sort of a new take on an old classic and something that actually happened to yours truly a couple of Christmas Eves ago. Okay, so get yourself cozy and we'll do story time, okay? Now, this is called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas in the Village of the Pammed." 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the village not a creature was stirring, not a donkeys to pillage. The stockings were hung by the radiator with care, in hopes that Saint Nick knew where we kept the key rock with the spare. The children were nestled at their own homes, 'cause they're all grown up, except my wild daughter Janice was staying, and she never fails to disrupt. I got into my Kathy t-shirt and put away my crap, and had just settled myself in for like a 5 or 6 hour nap. When out on the lawn there arose a GD clatter, I thought, oh, for Christ's sake, I better go see what's the matter. Away to the window, I was expecting a scene. I tore open the curtains and pushed out the screen. Now, the ugly lights from Cheryl's next door on my yard down below lit it up so I could see everything like, whoa. And what to my wandering eye did appear but my daughter Janice and a guy dressed like a reindeer, rolling around on the lawn fast then quick, and I could tell in 1 second that this guy was some prick. I just knew the mixed drinks at the Orchid lay blame, and he whistled and shouted but couldn't remember her name. Yeah, Gina, no Jenna, no Joanne or Peg. Is it Sadie or Allie? Ow, you're crushing my leg. Could we move this inside? Maybe we could lay down, put on some sexy music, maybe the Christmas O-Town. Then he says, before we start, I really gotta pee. And that's when I went to greet them, about to uproot a friggin' tree. So up to the front door they stumbled and came into view, when this reindeer man looked at me and then baffed on my shoe. I said, are you friggin' kidding? You're not coming in. And Janice says, but Ma, I love him. I think his name's Flynn. I said, well, nice to meet you, Flynn, but you gotta go home. You're not coming in. Get that into your dome. As I pulled in Janice and went to push out this twit, he fell backwards off my porch into my old fire pit. He screamed out in pain, oh, I think I've broken my knee. I said, go ahead and sue. You're not gonna get much from me. But I dialed 911, and Janice got him some ice, and I figured it's Christmas. I'll try to make nice. I said, you'll be all right. There's help on the way. And he said, this really sucks. Like, this is wicked gay. But then he looked at Janice and then back at myself, and I could tell that this guy was not good for my health. His little mouth was puckered up like a withered old anus, and what he said next was especially heinous. He says to me, maybe for the pain you get me some rum. And then me and you gals can have a mother-daughter threesome. He winked his eye and he twisted his head. That's when I kicked him square in the nuts and then thought he was dead. 'Cause he spoke not a word, but then he shrieked and he cried. My neighbor Cheryl said, what's going on? I said, bitch, go back inside. The ambulance got there and they loaded him in, and I said to Janice, this is why you can't drink gin. The EMT was my friend who used to work at the Coles, and I whispered, take back roads. This douche deserves some potholes. And I heard Flynn exclaim as the ambulance drove out of sight, God damn it, it's Christmas. I was supposed to get laid tonight. So, when are they making that Hallmark movie? Copyright. Okay. Love you, as I gotta go get some eggnog.